returning to Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be intimidating. Luckily, there are a lot of great creators out there who provide helpful content. But this is my journey. While getting back into the game is mostly expensive, I'm doing it the smart way.
And buy the singles!
This series is dedicated to building a competitive deck, but only with singles and on a mightily small budget. €2.50 per week. Welcome to Yugioh-Heroes. Well, hello my fellow gentle nerds. This is Echo again for episode 2 of Yugioh-Heroes. I'm very excited that you're here, and I'm very looking forward to this week's episode. We start off this episode with the opening of the week, and I can tell you we got a Stratos playset and we got 2 Destined Hero Malicious. That means we have like 5 of the staple cards for every hero deck. Right now, the unfortunate thing is that I didn't record the buying process. I just recorded the opening process, which you're going to see after I finish talking here to you. And I'm going to show you how much I paid. I can tell you it's €2.21, so we're going to carry over 29 cents to the next week. We have our winnings from episode 1, which I didn't expect and I didn't include. So we are going to carry them over, as well as the 29 cents from this episode and every winning that we get in this episode. So without further ado, let's get into the opening. Welcome to the live portion of the video. I'm actually very excited about this since, well, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And no, I don't mean Christmas, I mean opening things you're waiting for. You have been waiting for. So these are my 2, how's it called? This is my order for day 2. And yeah, if you see what I ordered, you will see there are more than the cards that we need for this episode. There's a bit stuff that is for me and other stuff that is to bling out the deck. I mean, in the rules I stated this is okay, this is totally fine. So we'll go ahead and look what's inside here. I mean, I got them from Card Market, so it's always a bit different how they are packed. What is this? Is this? Oh yeah, that's the maximum gold. And yeah, this is what we ordered. We have an ulti Miracle Fusion. Oh, there is the boy. 2 Malicious. Probably not as important right now, but he's going to be important later, and I'm very excited about that. And I got him for a good price, so 2 ultis, I take that. And a super rare Rhoda. And this is for my personal collection. The Book of Moon. I don't have one, it is actually damaged. Or is it damaged? If you look over the it is damaged. You see this? I don't know, my camera won't focus. But there. Not too cool, but it's okay. It's just for the collection and it isn't that noticeable. Still, bit sad. But this is going to the side, this is not for the deck, and this is for the deck. And yeah, I just got 1 Miracle Fusion since for my planned final build, I'm only going to use 1 Miracle Fusion. That's why I only bought 1. And there is a bit of maximum gold stuff, and I'm not sure how this is taped to the oh my god. And let's see, this is the main one. Yes, it is the maximum gold alternative art, but I freaking love the maximum gold rares. They look so beautiful, and because it's about as expensive as the rest, or even cheaper than an ultra rare Stratos, I chose those. Yes, the alternate art is not as good as the original, but the maximum gold makes up for it for me. So we have Stratos now. This is good. Those are the 5 cards that are going into the deck that are the new additions. Then we have maximum gold polymerization twice. Actually looks very beautiful. Wow. And this is for me, not for the deck. I got Artifact Lancia and Ghost Repent Winter Cherries. Both, I mean all 5 cards, because they were very cheap, and this is again for my personal collection and not for the deck. So I just wanted to show them since they came in the same order, but they are not going into the deck, and this is what we are getting into it. Well, exchanging in there. Yeah, so that's it for the opening. We'll see each other on the other side. So before we go into the duels, I want to talk about one thing. We had a duel against the ThePokéMonarch in episode 1, and we're going to have another one in episode 2. But this time he decided he wants to join the journey and do his own deck challenge. He's taking up another deck and he's evolving with us, so he's having like the same progression that we have with our hero deck. He is using another deck, but we couldn't figure out a way to make it fair since I already had episode 1 uploaded and he wasn't finished with his episode 1. So we decided to do one thing. I'm going to duel his episode 1 deck, and for episode 2 he's going to have double the budget. While I'm in Europe and I have €2.50, he in the US has $3 per week. This means for the next episode, episode 2, that you can see on his channel next week, is going to be the same thing that I do, but he has double the budget to catch up with me. I hope that clarifies a few things, and we're going right into the duels. And the first duel is against the ThePokéMonarch, as I told you before. In these duels, I consistently opened with Summoner Monk. I don't know why, but I could always go into Dark Law turn 1, and I'm going to call this Dark Law Turbo. So we Dark Law Turbo in game 1, and he finished chains my Dark Law, which I can remove in the next turn with Stratos, and he gets rid of my Dark Law. I set Call of the Haunted, get my Shadow Mist from Graveback, and get back into Dark Law. From there, I could clear his board. I get a new Stratos on board, and he finished the Stratos. I get rid of the Fiendish Chain by fusion, summoning Stratos, and going into Great Tornado, and from there I could push for game. Game 2, my hand was looking a bit more difficult, but I had more options with Hero Lives. I get my Summoner Monk out for Dark Law Turbo, but that gets compulsed, so I had a backup option with a Hero Lives, get into my Shadow Mist, and get into my Dark Law. I had a second Mask Change on hand. After having Dark Law on the field, I set my second Mask Change. For the next turn, I remove his back row with Stratos, and I could push for game with Dark Law, Stratos, and going into Divine Wind, plus the rest of the attack damage from Shadow Mist. This was a 2-0, and I'm a bit surprised that I could get a 2-0 against him. Match 2 was against Zuikaku, I hope that was pronounced right, and game 1, Dark Law Turbo. But I misplayed and I compulsed her Alistar, since I thought compulsing the Alistar would not get the Invocation Surge. Well, I got run over, since this deck is an amalgamation of Shaddolls, Eldritch, Dogmatica, Invoked. It's a 60 card pile and gets rid of my Dark Law every time in this game, so I couldn't do anything after a board clear later in the game. I draw into a bottomless and surrender the game. Game 2, Dark Law Turbo opening, but it gets ashed this time. So my Dark Law Turbo plan didn't work out as I expected it. So when I draw into another Mask Change. I can get into Dark Law next turn, but it gets super powered. And from there, I'm vulnerable for pretty much everything. So she gets 2 Eldritch on board, gets into Verte Anaconda, makes Dragoon, and that's game. I couldn't do anything. Game 3 wasn't against anyone that I know or that I've heard before. It was against a random, and his name is Vodka. So interesting name choice there, buddy. He gets 1 Dark Magician on board. His deck is a Dark Magician deck, and he gets his Dark Magician and Apprentice Dark Magician Girl on field. On my turn, he activates Eternal Soul and gets a 2nd Dark Magician on board. From there, I misplayed pretty heavily. I could have gone into Summoner Monk Dark Lord Turbo, but what I decided to do was I e-called my Shadow Mist, and that was my blunder. So I had to actually normal summon the Shadow Mist and mask change it into Dark Lord then, but well, he is too small against Dark Magicians. What I could have done was special summon another Shadow Mist, get another mask change and try to go for Korgor next turn. Well, I didn't do that, so he's actually too small and I get run over and I scoop the game when I draw to another Stratos. Game 2. Yeah, there is no game 2. He decided to not go into game 2, and I don't know why. He just left the game, and due to time constraints, I'm taking it that way. So I'm not taking the win here. I'm not taking any prize money. I don't want to take any prize money since it is undeserved. I didn't deserve to win. So what I'm going to do, I'm counting this game and game 3. Well, I'm counting this game. I'm not counting game 3. I'm counting this as a draw. Draws don't give me any money. So what we have here is a situation that after this week, I won 2 games, I lost 3, and I drew 1. So what we're having here is a €2.50 extra budget for next week as well. I'm going to summarize this. I'm not sure how much prize money I received. I think I'm around €6 right now, plus the 250 from next week. Wait, we don't get 250 next week since we're opening sealed. So this 250 for next week are eliminated and the prize money goes over to week 4. I can tell you that right now. So in the end, it was kind of successful. I mean, we pulled off 1 match win, didn't do much else, but I didn't expect anything from this deck since it's early in the beginning. And what I learned is that Malicious, when I draw into him, is very useless. I didn't get into Malicious once and I don't have the options to play Malicious right now. So what I need is something to dump it right into the graveyard to make use of its effect. And as of right now, I don't have any options to do this. What we're going to do for next week is remove the Malicious for now and insert new cards. We're going to see what we're going to use then, but I'll tell you about it in episode 3. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel, give it a like, maybe give it a comment on what you would improve for the next episode, for the next week. And yeah, that's it from me. See you then.